In the previous episode, we saw that in this ruthless world, ordinary humans always have to be sacrificed under the obsession of immortals and the law of heaven. But a mysterious woman turned the entire city of the Judo kingdom to ashes in a fraction of a second, forcing Plague God to descend upon the earth. On the other side, Stone Mountain God and Chief Warden Weichu, who came to capture Shu Ying dead or alive, were forced to team up in the face of the terrifying devastation of Spirit River. Shu Ying also joined hands with them, but when Weichu taunted him, Shu Ying beat his chest with pride and said that he had slit the throats of corrupt gods who sucked the blood of ordinary humans. Meanwhile, the surge of Spirit River increased, and the souls of the dead pounced to tear them apart. Right then, from a well buried beneath a massive ancient bell, a 10,000-year-old terrifying spirit god emerged, blowing the barrier to smithereens. As the well seal shattered, the strikingly beautiful female ghost, Jingbi, awakened from a 3,000-year deep slumber, broke free, and vanished with a mysterious smile after looking at Shu Ying. The moment Jingbi left, Stone Mountain God lunged at Shu Ying, but in close quarters combat, Shu Ying ripped his beast form to shreds with his terrifying punches. The battle was not over yet, but upon smelling the terrifying scent of Master Nuo, Stone Mountain God ran away with his tail between his legs. And now Dingguan is advancing straight towards Shu Ying to complete his bloody revenge. And now continuing forward, after finishing a terrifying battle with the Rock Mountain God, Shu Ying swung his sword straight at him, without wasting a single second. But the real twist was that for all this time Shu Ying was merely pretending to be unconscious, so he could launch an attack the moment he found the right opportunity. Not only that, thanks to the high-level healing powers he possessed, his severely injured leg was also completely healed. Seeing this sight, Weichu couldn't help but praise him, saying that Shu Ying is truly an extraordinary warrior, who possesses the power to kill even a god. However, Weichu believed that Shu Ying was extremely critically injured at this moment, making it completely impossible for Shu Ying to fight him off now. In his own mind, Shu Ying also fully agreed with this fact, that taking him on in a direct clash wasn't possible for him right now. That is why he decided that, instead of fighting, he had to find some way or another to escape from here. His trick was crystal clear: buy a little time by keeping him engaged in talk, so he could recharge his energy again. But unfortunately, he had barely spoken a few words when little Dingguan arrived there and started thanking Master Weichu. Dingguan was bowing his hands and repeatedly thanking Master Weichu for saving his life. Weichu replied very humbly that doing this much for colleagues working in the same place is a very ordinary thing. Seeing all this, Shu Ying realized that his condition at this moment had become extremely fragile and weak. Even in a one-on-one fight, there was no chance of escaping, and here, two bloodthirsty enemies were standing right before him. Just then, the Zhou family's martial arts manual, the Niwan Secret Vision, flashed through Shu Ying's mind. To put it in plain words, it was an extremely secret and dangerous martial arts technique belonging to the Zhou family. As Yuanji had warned earlier, taking this book outside the Zhou family was strictly forbidden, and if any non-human or outsider was caught stealing it, they were given an exceptionally painful punishment. Shu Ying immediately showed his cleverness and began reciting a few secret lines from that hidden martial arts book out loud. Hearing those magical words, the color drained from Dingguan's face, and he began to tremble with fear. The biggest fear terrifying him was that, if the Zhou family found out about this theft, his survival would become impossible. On the other side, Master Weichu questioned Shu Ying in an extremely harsh tone about where he learned the energy refining technique of the Niwan Secret Vision from, because this technique was purely the exclusive property of the Zhou family, making it completely impossible for an outsider to know it. However, completely blinded by fear, Dingguan didn't want to take any risks anymore. Without wasting a single second, he launched an attack directly on Master Weichu and stopped his breath forever. Dingguan absorbed all the spiritual energy from Master Weichu's body, turning him into a dried-up tree. In a trembling voice, he apologized to Weichu's corpse, saying that to save his own life he had to take this terrifying step. Dingguan knew that if news reached the Zhou family, his upcoming 9 generations would be burned alive. Even after realizing such a horrific punishment, he had lusted after acquiring that forbidden book. Now Dingguan had completely lost his mental balance, reaching the edge of madness. He swore aggressively that Shu Ying would not survive today, and he himself would become Master Weichu's vengeance. Right at that critical junction, Yuanji regained consciousness, after lying battered until now. Yuanji immediately showed courage, and told Shu Ying that he would handle Dingguan alone, while Shu Ying found a way to counter him. Without wasting time, Shu Ying opened that mysterious book of the Zhou family, and began reading it. While on the other side, Yuanji poured out his full strength to clash against Dingguan. Although Yuanji knew very well that he couldn't win this battle, his only motive was to buy time for Shu Ying, who knew that Yuanji, whom everyone considered weak, would land such a heavy punch that Dingguan's mask shattered to pieces. However, unfortunately just that wasn't enough, because there was a world of difference between their strengths and realms. The relief was that by then, Shu Ying had read and understood the hidden pages of the book completely. Shu Ying thanked Yuan Ji, saying that thanks to him he had found the true weakness of Dingguan's Nuo arts. Looking toward Dingguan, Shu Ying said in a cold tone that every single move of his had countless flaws and holes in it. And the very Nuo arts he took so much pride in, defeating it was as easy for Shu Ying as turning over the palm of his hand. Hearing this, Dingguan's temper hit the roof, and he squirmed with humiliation. Screaming in rage, he yelled out how he dared to boast so much when he had only heard the name of Nuo arts just yesterday. He belittled Shu Ying, saying that an ordinary human could never comprehend the deep secrets of Nuo arts. At this, Shu Ying replied with a calm smile that he had thoroughly understood more than 50 martial arts techniques of the demons. And in his eyes, this nuanced secret vision of the Zhou family was the most pathetic and third-rate technique. Dingguan was completely rattled by this sharp reply and said irritably that his demonic arts were limited only to energy absorption. They aren't even equal to an ant before my new arts. And saying just this much, both lunged at each other. But every single word said by Shu Ying was about to prove true. As soon as Dingguan attacked with his poisonous wooden branches, Shu Ying blew his entire strike away like a straw, using just 2 fingers. Dingguan was watching this sight with wide eyes, unable to believe how anyone could crack his Nuo art so quickly. Shu Ying didn't reply to any of his words, and kept advancing like a shadow at lightning speed. Dingguan had completely lost control over his own powers, and every attack of his was swinging empty in the air. Gauging the right opportunity, Shu Ying landed several precise strikes, one after another, on the main meridian points of Dingguan's body. The moment these strikes landed, Dingguan's whole body became paralyzed, leaving him incapable of moving even a single step. The flow of his spiritual energy stopped forever, and he collapsed to the ground as a helpless, powerless human. Looking into his struggling eyes, Shu Ying uttered his final words. "I told you right in the beginning, killing you is child's play for me." And just like that, he lightly touched Dingguan's forehead with 2 fingers, and his life vanished into thin air. Dingguan's body collapsed lifelessly, and thus came the end of that arrogant enemy. After disposing of Dingguan, Shu Ying explained the true secret behind Nuo arts to Yuan Ji. He revealed that the entire energy flow of this Nuo arts is concentrated right inside a person's brain. So whenever anyone uses this power, just strike precisely at their brain, and the job will be done automatically. As simple as this sounded, it was equally terrifying and effective. Without wasting any useless time, Shu Ying began his journey ahead toward Jinyan Cave, the path to which Yuan Ji had shown him. But the destination was still quite far. A long and difficult journey of nearly 60 kilometers remained from here. Just then, on the way, they suddenly ran into that same rock mountain god once again. But this time, he hadn't come with any intention to fight. Rather, he had stopped to give Shu Ying a huge warning. He explicitly told Shu Ying that, after descending this mountain, do not step toward the northwest direction, even by mistake. Apart from this, he advised that both of them wash off the blood on their bodies thoroughly in some river or stream. Because bloodthirsty creatures like the Shiluman god can track them down by sniffing the scent of blood drifting in the air. A question flashed through Shu Ying's mind. Why was the rock mountain god, who was their arch-enemy until a little while ago, warning them like this? Understanding his confusion, the rock mountain god repeated a deep and mysterious proverb. He said, "Even if a human's humanity isn't completely gone, taming the brutality of a Shiluman is extremely difficult." Saying this much, he added that he truly wanted to see what kind of human or monster Shu Ying would become in the time to come. Uttering these heavy words, that mysterious rock mountain god vanished from there. Shu Ying immediately realized that the proverb was a huge, direct taunt on his very existence. He turned back and shouted at the top of his lungs that he was no Shiluman, but an ordinary human. However, the deep words of that proverb had planted a profound doubt in Shu Ying's mind regarding his own identity. The entire way he kept asking himself, is he truly a human or a brute beast? His heart said he was a true human, because he possessed memories of his parents. His father's name was Shu En, and his mother's name was Tian Rui Xuan, who were ordinary humans residing in Shu village. On the other hand, Yuan Ji had a firm belief settled in his mind that Shu Ying was no ordinary human, but a Shiluman. Only one question was rising repeatedly in Yuan Ji's mind: if Shu Ying is human, how can he learn Shiluman techniques so easily? No ordinary human could ever master the dangerous boxing and secret cultivation techniques of the Shiluman era in such a short time. because the cultivation methods of humans and demons are completely different and opposite from one another. At this, Shu Ying replied with a helpless smile that he himself had no idea about this matter. Why just Shilu man? He had even picked up a complex discipline like Nuo arts in the blink of an eye within just a few moments. There seemed to be only one conclusion coming out of this strange affair. Shu Ying is half human and half Shilu man. While they were advancing further, immersed in these confusions, they suddenly found a massive bronze bell lying on the way. This was the same mysterious bell that had saved their lives in that terrifying temple last night. Its sudden presence heightened Shu Ying's curiosity even further, and he was drawn toward it. Frightened, Yuan Ji immediately shouted to stop him. "Hey, stop! Don't go near that cursed bell, it can take your life in the blink of an eye." Yuan Ji joked that Shu Ying didn't even have any children yet. If he died, his lineage would end right there. Ignoring Yuan Ji's words, Shu Ying walked even closer to that massive bell. On the upper part of the bell was printed a small, extremely beautiful handprint that was deeply embedded. In Shu Ying's mind, the face of that beautiful ghost girl, namely Jin Bi, who was trapped in that coffin, flashed immediately. Without any fear, Shu Ying extended his hand and gently touched that mark, but fortunately nothing happened. Shu Ying wasn't just touching it, he began caressing it very lovingly, just like one caresses a sad friend. He told Yuan Ji that this bell had saved their lives last night, and now it was so severely injured itself, so caressing it gently and saying thank you was just basic humanity. But right then, that massive bell suddenly began to quiver in midair and shake violently. Seeing this, both Yuan Ji and Shu Ying froze in terror, and they began stepping back. The strange thing was that whichever direction Shu Ying stepped in, that heavy bell also kept sliding after him in that same direction. Yuan Ji immediately held his head and screamed that this bell had now accepted Shu Ying as its protector. Because this bell had become extremely weak and injured from inside, it had come under Shu Ying's shelter. Scolding Shu Ying, Yuan Ji said that the elders say rightly, one should never touch abandoned things lying on the road without thinking. Shu Ying didn't want to tie this trouble around his neck. Carrying such a heavy bell along was inviting disaster, so he decided to run. He began sprinting fast, making high leaps, and running on zigzag paths. But that bell was no less either. It dragged itself right behind him, shattering massive trees, boulders, and stones in its path. Running and running, they suddenly stopped at a place where the view before them made their skin crawl. Standing right in front of them was that terrifying and gigantic creature of the Iroh River, Hell River, which had attacked that temple last night. Seeing that dreadful entity in front, that chasing bell also suddenly halted and began to tremble. Shu Ying immediately understood that even this almighty bell was trembling violently with fear before that scary power. Just then, Shu Ying's eyes fell upon thousands of years old ancient characters engraved in that place. The shocking part was that Shu Ying could read those ancient words very easily, whereas for the wise Yuan Ji they were merely unresolved lines. Yuan Ji couldn't believe it. He felt Shu Ying was just bluffing and lying. But right then, that giant dreadful entity suddenly awakened, its burning, terrifying eyes locking straight onto Shu Ying, and glaring with a heavy, spine-chilling voice it uttered, "Immortal Master! Immortal Master!" These two words coming out of the mouth of that terrifying, mysterious ancient entity completely shocked Shu Ying and Yuan Ji. Shu Ying couldn't understand anything as to why a 10,000-year-old terrifying creature was calling him Immortal Master. But before the curtain could be lifted from this unresolved puzzle and deep secret, fate brought a new twist before them. The dreadful shadow of that unknown and giant demon was still instilling fear in their hearts, but Shu Ying somehow gathered courage. He had realized that moving forward in this mysterious world meant facing death at every single step. Without taking any more risks, Shu Ying and Yuan Ji thought it best to quietly slip away from there. Is Shu Ying really an ordinary human, or a 10,000-year-old immortal master? Will he be able to reach Jin Yan Cave and expose the biggest secret of this terrifying past? This is something we will find out only in the upcoming explosive next episode. So guys, this was our video for today. How did you all like today's story? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. The upcoming episodes are going to be even more dangerous and exciting. And yes, as you know, new explosive Donghua episodes drop on our channel every single day, so don't miss out on any new story. Listen carefully to a few useful points ahead. 100 comments target. As soon as you guys complete 100 comments on this video, consider that work on the next even better Donghua has started. Every single comment of yours motivates a lot. Hit the hype button. Click on the hype button visible below. This will push our video to the top on YouTube and help it reach our fellow Donghua brothers too. Join the WhatsApp group. Different Donghua drop every day. And if YouTube throws tantrums in sending notifications, it will ruin all the fun. So to get updates on every new episode first, join our WhatsApp channel via the link in the description. So if you haven't subscribed yet, do it quickly, brother. Complete the 100 comments target, hype the video, and join WhatsApp. Alright guys, see you again tomorrow with a brand new Donghua and a new episode.